and welcome to UAT Time within the United Countries special by First Ukraine. You can find us on the frequencies available on our website, firstua.com. I'm Sergey Velichanskiy.
And I am Olivier Vedrine. UAT Time is dedicated to bring Ukraine and Europe closer to each other by introducing the real Ukraine to the rest of the world.
It is our pleasure to introduce to you innovative and effective new endeavors which will change Ukraine step by step.
Our guest today is Oksana Lemishka, young activist, initiator and promoter of the project Ukrainian Summer School. Welcome.
Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for stopping by, and we have 25 minutes of good conversation. Now, prior to this, we recognized that you just mentioned that you are a professor. So please share more about yourself, what you do, in addition to what we have just already said.
Okay, currently I'm a teacher of English language at the Institute of Journalism at Kyiv Taras Shevchenko University. And I'm involved also in my PhD studies, research. I do research. At the same time, I'm what people call an activist. And I initiated Ukrainian Summer School, you just mentioned, and we made it and put it into practice. And that would be it, in 2 words.
Ukrainian Summer School doesn't sound anything special, but what is what's in it? I mean, typical good words: Ukraine Summer School, but it took place in Kramatorsk, right?
Yes, yes.
Which is quite near to the occupied territories. So, what's the purpose? What have you accomplished?
Well, you know, one of Ukrainian writers, Yuri Lipa, once said that the battle for Ukrainian pride is the battle for Ukraine is the battle for or against Ukrainian national pride. And Ukrainian Summer School is a platform. It's a dialogue between Ukrainian citizens and between Ukrainian intellectuals on the topic of Ukraine. So the purpose is to discuss what is going on, to break stereotypes, to discuss the influences of Soviet propaganda Ukraine have been having for many years. And Ukrainian Summer School was created with the purpose to have a local dialogue, because in capital we have many things going on and discussing. We need to go local. So first thing, Ukrainian Summer School is aimed at bringing all citizens together, at the same time bringing best intellectuals together to discuss the topics of Ukrainian history, culture, cinematography, etc. Yes, and bring together the thoughts, break stereotypes. Many people say that it's like propaganda. We come and tell people about Ukraine, but it is vice versa. We went to Kramatorsk because I had never heard about it before. And that's the problem. And we decided to start from east because little had been heard about. And that is why we went to Kramatorsk and we learned about this region. We learned about Donbass. We engaged best professionals from Donbass. And it was a marvelous conversation.
It's interesting. Actually, it's a good point to start, where to start, because one of the prerequisites for the separatists movement was that supposedly they don't belong to Ukraine. But in reality, if you look back in some pictures 50 years ago and more, I mean, you see pictures with Ukrainians dressed in Ukrainian clothes and with the Ukrainian symbols and having good time, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. You have a Ukrainian symbol from Kiev to Rostov. Then they say you have a lot of Ukrainian symbols in this part.
Did you say Rostov?
Rostov.
Right. Okay.
Rostov.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have. What do you know about this school? Where did you hear about the school? Where did you hear about this school?
This school.
Did you participate in it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right.
You know, I know a lot of persons, but I not participate in every event.
Okay.
I know this project because of one of my friends, Irina. And Irina phoned to me and say, Olivier, you have to do an interview with Oksana. And I say, okay.
Did you do that?
And voila. And what?
Okay, now.
But when I saw that was in Kramatorsk, in the east part of Ukraine, because you know, I take care of this part because of my activities, and I was very in favor to do this interview. I think this is a good project, and I saw that you have a lot of support.
Yes, the project was supported primarily because it was in Kramatorsk. If I were to launch the project in Lviv, let's say, it doesn't have such
Some
support.
impact.
Yes. Kramatorsk was chosen for many reasons. First of all, it was occupied territory, it used to be. Second of all, there is already a pretty active civil society there. They have Vilna Khata, which is sort of a place, an NGO where young people come and discuss, and they have lectures, pretty straightforward. So we have a platform, yes, for discussion already there. There were people, it is people who like hosted us there completely for free. And we also got support from Lviv Education Foundation and Western NIS Fund. This Ukrainian Summer School was basically organized by Open University of Reforms. I used to be a student by Open University of Reforms, and Open University of Reforms is an initiative by Reanimation Package of Reforms. So they are like teaching young reformers to reform the country, and they gave me the chance to make my own school. And that is why there's like 3 sort of different conditions coincided, and we went to Kramatorsk. And we were supported by Dovzhenko National Center as well, who gave us movies and best professionals to lecture at our school. And among our lecturers, we also had ex-head of the Kyiv Mohyla Academy lecturing on literature. And Olena Styashkina, the professor from Donetsk University, she was talking about Soviet influences. So we brought sort of a pretty good basis for discussion.
Who are your students or your auditors?
There have been up to 200 students who applied to our school, but only 30 places were allowed because it was like a sort of a scholarship. Yes, we paid for students. And our students were journalists from Hromadske, Donbas, and from different other top channels. Those were students from Kyiv Mohyla Academy or other universities, history students, young journalists, professionals working with people who were resettled from occupied territories, teachers of geography, and the public was versatile. And we tried to get people from all over Ukraine to have this genuine discussion between people themselves.
I believe this is one of the endeavors that really has the right to live on and move on, because this is the best way to work in the territories near the occupation and those territories that have been impacted by the events. Because really education people, telling them, sharing with them, and talking with them, and hearing them. I think this kind of project needs to be, and it's good that there's some support there, and it is one of the ways where Europe can really
and Kramatorsk is in Oblast of Lugansk.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you speak with George Tuka about your? No. Never?
Not yet. The project was done in a very short time.
Okay.
I was the leader of this Open University Reforms, and I just shared my idea, and they told me, let's do it. And we had 1.5 months to do it.
Okay.
And it was pretty lots of work.
Then I think I can help you.
So, I mean, really, for the first, actually, this was what, only this summer, right? The first
yes, only this
session.
summer, first session I brought you.
How long did it last?
Only 2 days. We had only 2 days because this is what we could offer ourselves. All our lecturers and staff worked on volunteer basis. And we had a pretty tough program. We managed to have some excursions around Kramatorsk. We managed to have topics on cinematography, literature, history, and some common discussions together as watching some movies. So 2 days of a really tough program.
Yeah, well, for 2 days, yeah, sounds like it. But this could be one of the good assets and assistance to the new governor, George Tuka.
Yeah. Yes.
And
Yes. I think because I have to meet him in next days, and I have to propose to him some project.
Because we are discussing right now already, we plan it to be like a 5-day project, 5 to 7 days project. It has to be in some small town or some perfectly not very famous region. It has to be like a rest next to Dnipro River with a more extended program and bigger after follow. Because now we have only like 2 days. And
You are from this region of Donbass? Or no?
I'm from Ternopil.
Ternopil?
Yes, from Western Ukraine. And for me, it was quite a surprise. First time I went to Kramatorsk, I realized how much propaganda and stereotypes and fake division by government have been done to all of us. And that we are supposed to go local and to discuss these problems, because only this way we can like bring up and listen to people from those regions. There have been very few festivals there, and only now we start thinking why.
Yeah, yeah. And now, you know, we have no doubts, you know, why it was so, Russian propaganda, the separatist propaganda was so successful, because most of them never felt part of Ukraine.
Of Ukraine, and now most of them they never left the Donbass or the Oblast of
that's the
Lugansk.
fail of the previous governments, you know.
It was the fail of 20
Pretty
years,
much all
20 years of bad
independence,
governments. 20 years of bad governments.
Yes.
Nothing has been
They
done.
always pretty much took advantage of those regions as far as, you know, resources, but not...
I talk about that with George Tuka. George Tuka say, okay, come on. How we can say to these people that they are Ukrainian if we will not give to them some real good roads, for example.
Yeah.
Real good roads, real good transport.
Well...
This is an example, only an example.
And, you know, then we come back to the corruption issue. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we don't have roads in Kyiv, then of course there will be no roads elsewhere, because money is being stolen everywhere.
But that was also one of aims of Ukrainian Summer School, to stop being in Kyiv and to go to regions. Because people from Kyiv, they have access to so many workshops and seminars and possibilities. But when we got to those people from the Kramatorsk region, from Krasny Liman, from very, very far eastern regions, and when they saw each other, they made a communication, and they saw that people from all over Ukraine love each other, and that we have common values and common history to share. One of our follow-ups was to write an essay, My Ukraine. And many people were writing about their impressions, that it was breaking for them, that they got to know many things they hadn't known before. And we also brought folk music, Ukrainian folk music by aesthetic voice in jazz versions. So it was like a jazz folk, and people loved it very much. So it's like sort of bringing culture and taking it from underground.
You know, you'd be surprised that, you know, there was radio, there was, you know, TV, and all that, but still, somehow, I mean, it is their choice. I mean, there was the, you know, national TV there, you know, but it was still that choice that they decided they wanted to watch other channels, they wanted to listen to other radios. But again, it's a package.
But why the previous governments did nothing to stop this propaganda, Russian propaganda in the Donbass? That's mean, can you imagine that in France, we have in the north of France all the TV station in German, and in south of France all the TV station in Spain? It's impossible.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But we can't talk about what hasn't been done. We should face what has to be done.
Exactly.
And speaking about
but this
TV,
is also the results.
And speaking about TV channels, it's again giving them information, but not listening to them.
Exactly.
That's the most important. They have to get the voice to talk. Each part of Ukraine has to feel important. And when you go there and they show you museums, have you know that in Kramatorsk is one of the best pathological museums of Ukraine? They have even the remains of the dinosaur.
Wow.
Yes. And they have one of the oldest monasteries there. It is picturesque and beautiful. There are so many things they are to be proud of, and we gave them that voice. There are some videos and follow-ups when I'm working on the website, so this information could be shared around Ukraine. And
well, it's like this, you know, there is a political level where supposedly there's elections and people are heard through their politicians. But if politicians fail, then there should be other ways, cultural ways, other social ways where people can express their opinion, their thoughts, and they need to be invited here, and some cultural or other social venues need to go there. And so summer, Ukrainian Summer School sounds really
That's
really
why
good.
in our TV program in UAT Time it's very important to invite, of course, some deputy minister or some ambassador, but also to invite some representatives of NGO.
Well, honestly, sometimes they're the ones that are doing much more than some of the deputy ministers, I mean, seriously, but that's what they're down to earth, right there with the people, because imagine if a deputy minister would travel to Kramatorsk. I mean, the meeting place would be arranged. The people that would come to him would be probably selected, and he would get the picture that somebody wanted for him to get. Yes.
Yeah.
But these folks, they go in, they talk on the street, they get the real people.
That's why I think UAT Time has to give the voice to the people also. That's why I'm very happy when we can invite some NGO representative, because for me this is very the big component of the civil society. And in Ukraine you have a gap. You have a gap between the power and the civil society.
Now, but I don't believe that such a person as Oksana has no more ideas. What other ideas, what other projects you have in your mind? I'm sure after being after having this Ukrainian summer school done back in this, when was it? In July, 11th and 12th. That was the time of UAT time birth, actually. So I think there's something special in this date. Yes. Yes. What else do you have in mind, and what can other people do to help you to realize those ideas?
Well, I will narrow down what I have in mind to major strategic points. First of all, we are working on the next Ukrainian Summer School, and it requires lots of preparation, especially if you want to make it like a 5-day project. Second of all, I'm a part of Open University of Reform, so I became the part of their team. Right now, they have a second round of their education, and they're working with medical, law, and anti-corruption directions. They're reading lectures on how to make reforms in those regions. And we are now planning some other directions for the next term. That's for now. Also, you know that Horizon 2020, we have pretty new demands towards English language. And English language must become ubiquitous, and I know that there have been launched projects for government workers, etc., etc. One of our plans is to launch a project for orphans and for orphanages.
Ah, bien.
Yes,
Good.
to teach them English on a super high level, like to engage British Council, American studies, etc. So they could get B2 level of English language. And so they could use this opportunity. And it's not been done. For that, we need huge resources, because to pay teachers and to make them pass exams and to arrange it, we need lots of resources engaged. And of course, we want to make it for free for them. Because we take care of governments, of university teachers, etc., but we forget that we have a part of society for which non-English language would become a huge step towards their dreams. This is what gives them power. Because if you are a governmental worker or a teacher, you already have work. And you have resources. You have internet, after all, to go and study. And those kids, they are underwatched.
And I know the situation of the house of orphans in the Donbass.
Yes.
Because, you know, our friend Nicolas Tacussel, this weekend, this former weekend, he was in the orphan house, and he said to me that psychologically the impact of the war to the children are.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about that region, then they do have probably some primary needs which are much more vital at this point. Those are the ones that need to be met. and then others will follow.
Yeah.
Because if we give a chance,
A lot of psychological problems.
do they need food or clothes or English? Definitely yes.
Psychological
But
help
step by
first.
step, everything has to come in its order. That's true. And with the, I mean, orphanages even in Kyiv, let alone the regional orphanages. I mean, there's in such a situation that, yeah, and English could definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but of course, this giving English lessons to a lot of persons, that's really good because this is the future. And but in this region in Lugansk Oblast, especially, I think at first we have to give to them some happiness,
psychological,
and
yeah.
some food, some clothes, some psychological assistance. I insist on that because really we have big psychological disease. They are sick.
Yeah.
And that's a very big problem for the young generation.
And that would be the best propaganda of Ukraine to them.
Help.
That's what I'm saying.
Help
Quote,
them.
Yes. Helping them, that would be the best way to say, you know, what
So
Ukraine...
you're a part of us.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, with all of these, with the English and with other projects, who do you work with? Who helps you?
Well, as I mentioned before, I work with Open University of Reforms.
yes.
Yes, they on their basis we manage all these projects. But at the same time, we got support from different funding donors, donor giving, and those were like Reanimation Package of Reforms, Transparency International, Lviv Education Foundation, and Law Foundation. Those are all organizations, and Western NAS Fund. They are all who support us and who are looking into our further projects. They believed in Ukrainian Summer School, and after we got the reputation, and they are already taking part in preparing the next school. That is why, you know, what I believe in, if the idea is timely and urgent, it gets followed up.
Yeah.
Because the project like this was organized within 1 month, it's really little. But if you come and you say you have an idea and you get support if this idea is really needed.
Yeah.
We did in 1 week. UAT times.
Yeah.
You should invite us.
So yes, seriously, that's true. That's true. But
Yeah.
but what I hear is you've got some good management skills as well, because presenting the idea to the needed people is probably 50% of
My
of success.
research in communication helps here. Yes,
Okay, that's
effective
true.
communication strategies. Believing in what you do first of all,
right.
and then language follows, and then you get the support.
That's right.
I
Absolutely
mean,
right.
again, time flies.
Okay.
As good as always with good guests. Anything you want to add? We decided not to ask you about some major politics and stuff, your opinion on this and that, because what you do is, this is the real politics, to me, politics, the real thing. And so if there is anything, UAT time,
Can do. We can do.
the two of us can do, we'd love to, be part of it. But if anybody who is watching it, if you're interested to plug in and join these endeavors and these projects, hey, feel free, let us know, write to us, and we'll get your information to Oksana.
And I think UAT time will be also the program of all the peoples of Ukraine.
Yeah, that's true. It was United Country UAT time by First Ukraine. Our guest was Oksana Lemishka, young activist, initiator and promoter of the project Ukrainian Summer School.
Olivier, Vedrine and Sergey Velichanskiy were working for you in the studio. Stay with us and we will show to you the red crane.
Thank you for being with us. Have a good day and see you soon.